The last text message on your phone says, I love you, but the person who sent it is 200 miles away, and the highways are parking lots full of abandoned metal coffins. The banks closed 3 hours ago. Forever. Your credit cards are plastic bookmarks in a story nobody's reading anymore. And that smart home of yours? It's the dumbest pile of bricks on the block because it doesn't know how to do anything without Wi Fi. You're about to learn what your grandparents knew and your kids never will: how to be a human being without a safety net, without a system, without a prayer. The government isn't coming. FEMA ran out of funding 2 weeks ago. The National Guard went home to protect their own families. It's just you, the clothes on your back, and whatever's left of your humanity after you do what needs doing. Here's the truth bomb nobody wants to hear. Society didn't collapse. It committed suicide. And you're standing in the aftermath wondering why your meal delivery app won't load. Time to grow up. Time to learn what actually keeps you vertical when everything horizontal wants you dead. First thing nobody tells you about collapse: information becomes more valuable than ammunition. But not the information you think. Your phone is dead. The internet is a memory. The news is propaganda or silence. You need to become your own intelligence network. Every morning, you walk, not for exercise, for reconnaissance. You're mapping empty houses, noting which cars still have gas, memorizing where the dogs are, where the smoke comes from, where the desperate gather. You're not scrolling feeds anymore. You're reading the street like scripture. That house with newspapers piling up, either abandoned or full of corpses. That one with the pristine lawn, someone still got water and power. Mark them as either ally or target. The patterns tell you everything: migration routes, resource clusters, danger zones. You're not paranoid, you're informed. And information is the difference between walking into an ambush and setting one. Your body is talking, you just forgot how to listen. That headache isn't stress, it's dehydration starting its murder attempt. That dizzy spell isn't low blood sugar, it's your blood pressure cratering because you've been living on adrenaline for 72 hours. Your body gives you warnings before it gives you consequences. Learn its language. The slight yellow in your piss means you're one day from kidney problems. The sweet smell in your sweat means you're burning muscle instead of fat. That tiny cut that won't stop itching, it's going septic. In the old world, you ignored these signals and popped pills. Now there are no pills. There's only prevention. Check yourself every morning like a machine. Eyes, skin, wounds, temperature, pulse. You're the doctor now. You're the only medical system that exists. When your body whispers, you listen. When it screams, it's already too late. Here's what kills more people than violence: assumptions. You assume that bridge is safe because it was yesterday. You assume that water is clean because it's clear. You assume that person is friendly because they're smiling. Assumptions are luxury thoughts for luxury times. Now, you verify everything. That bridge, you test it with thrown rocks before you step on it. That water, you filter it, boil it, and wait 24 hours to see if the first person who drinks it dies. That smiling person, they're either stupid or dangerous, because nobody with sense smiles in hell. You question every surface, every offer, every shortcut. Paranoia isn't mental illness anymore. It's evolution. The trusting died week 1. The skeptics are writing the history. Trade is dead. Currency is dead. What's alive is the favor economy. But not the kindergarten version where you help your neighbor move a couch. This is weaponized reciprocity. You don't give anyone anything without creating a debt. Every can of food you share is a future favor. Every bandage you provide is a blood oath. You're not being kind. You're building a web of obligations that makes you indispensable. That person you gave antibiotics to, they owe you their life, literally, and you collect, not in goods, in actions. They stand watch. They share information. They vouch for you to their group. You're not building friendships. You're building a network of people who can't afford to let you die. The loners think independence is strength, but interdependence is power. Make them need you more than you need them. Movement is life, but not how you think. Everyone talks about bugging out, about mobility, about not getting trapped. Wrong. Strategic stillness saves more lives than panicked motion. When chaos erupts, you freeze. You become furniture. You wait. The runners get shot. The hiders get overlooked. For the first 72 hours of any crisis, don't move unless the building is literally on fire. Let the panic wash over you like a wave. Let the desperate exhaust themselves. Let the violent burn out their ammunition. Then, when everyone else is tired, wounded, or dead, you move. But you move with purpose. Never random, never rushed. Every step is calculated. You're not fleeing, you're repositioning. Like water finding the lowest point, you're finding the path of least resistance. The secret isn't being fast, it's being patient. Your greatest weapon isn't what you carry, it's what you project. Become unreadable. Your face tells no stories. Your body language speaks no language. You're not tough, you're not weak, you're nothing. You're background noise in human form. This isn't about being the gray man, it's about being the empty man. No emotions to manipulate, no reactions to predict, no patterns to exploit. When someone talks to you, you give them nothing to work with. Short answers, no opinions, no plans. You're a mirror that doesn't reflect. This makes you deeply unsettling. People fear what they can't read more than what they can. The dangerous person isn't the one with the biggest gun, it's the one you can't figure out. Be that person. Resources hide in plain sight. Everyone raids the grocery store. Nobody thinks about the office buildings. Vending machines full of calories. Water coolers with 5-gallon jugs. First aid stations on every floor. Cleaning supplies that double as weapons. Batteries in every exit sign. That abandoned daycare center? Formula is basically survival powder, proteins, fats, vitamins. The veterinary clinic? Antibiotics that work on humans. The beauty supply store? Rubbing alcohol, petroleum jelly, scissors that cut through anything. While everyone's fighting over the last can of beans, you're shopping where nobody thinks to look. The real resources aren't where resources are supposed to be. They're where people forgot to look because they were too busy being obvious. You're going to break. Not physically, mentally. The human mind isn't designed for sustained apocalypse. You'll see things that rewrite your understanding of humanity. You'll do things that the old you would call monstrous. You'll make choices that trade pieces of your soul for another day of survival. This isn't weakness, this is biology. Your brain will fracture to protect itself. You'll disassociate, you'll compartmentalize, you'll develop a second personality that does the horrible necessary things while the real you watches from somewhere safe inside your skull. Don't fight it, use it. That fractured part of you, that's your survivor. That's the thing that pulls the trigger when the old you would hesitate. That's what eats the unthinkable when the old you would starve. You're not going crazy. You're adapting. An adaptation, even the ugly kind, is just another word for winning. The person listening to this still thinks they're going to be the same person when society comes back. They won't. That person is already dead. They died the moment the lights went out for good. What's left is something harder, something emptier, something that knows the real price of survival. Not the Hollywood version where you keep your morals and your manicure, the real version where you pay in pieces of humanity you'll never get back. But here's the thing about being empty. Empty things are hard to kill. They've got nothing left to lose, nothing left to threaten, nothing left to break. You become the cockroach. Not pretty, not noble, but absolutely unstoppable. When the morning comes and you're still breathing, still moving, still refusing to be another casualty, you haven't just survived, you've evolved. The world doesn't owe you survival. Survival is something you take, with broken fingernails, with rotting teeth, with the kind of determination that would horrify the person you used to be. But that person is gone, and what's left doesn't care about horror. It only cares about tomorrow. But here's what every wannabe survivor gets wrong. They think survival means running, loading up their truck and heading for the hills like some action movie hero. Watch this video next to understand why your bug out bag is actually your body bag, and why the real survivors aren't the ones who run, they're the ones who become invisible in plain sight.